mind, calm, peace, ready to get into some stuff. How about that? Ready to leave. Anyway, I was sitting here thinking. I come across a video and Spirit says to say thank you to Tiffany. Um, Something you said helped with this epiphany. Um, and and you'll know who you are and you'll know what I'm talking about. Um, but so anyway, I it dawned on me. We're at a point in time where the music industry can no longer use its trickery against the people. The people are aware now of plants, of sacrifices, of the things that are being done with their devices in order to mind map or manipulate them. And with that understanding, there are a lot of people who are just going to be caught out there with their pants down, right? So I want to just use one of the biggest examples out there. It's going to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. Look at Jay. He's already sacrificed his wife's heart. You know what I'm saying? He cheated. I gave him that 444 album, book, all those things, the art, right? What's next? With the world being aware of sacrifices, you can't sacrifice nobody. The corporation can't sacrifice you because they'll still know. You understand what I'm saying? So you're stuck in this catch 22. You got to make it seem like you're this wholesome, wonderful dad. And, well, that's not something that's a bad. You have to really be able to prove that, stand on that. People have to see it in the way that you are with your children when you don't know that the camera is watching or when your mask slips. You know what I'm saying? Are you still the same person? And listen, Beyonce charges thousands of dollars for the tickets. Then you gotta wear a certain outfit. Then you gotta do a certain thing. Then you gotta go back and you gotta buy the video version because this got extra shit in it or doesn't or whatever it is. I'm telling y'all, the people are coming to the point where they don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have the means for frivolous spending. And as the people get more and more to their point, it's going to put a crunch on the industry, and the industry cannot fight back with the tools that it's used all this time. So now, what do they do? I'm trying to tell you. There's about to be a shake up. People are starting to wake up. Can't go back to a time that didn't exist in the first place. It's time to do something different, dude. I hear that song. Is that Patti LaBelle? I got a new attitude. Ooh, 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 ooh. I woke up in a good mood, y'all. I'm just telling you. Look at the world around you. The people have had enough, and the people are speaking. People are tired of being stepped on, looked at as small and insignificant. They're willing to stand up and take chances. They're willing to fight for what they believe in. It's time to give them something to believe in. Good morning. How's your spirit? It's a little chilly out here, but it's a beautiful morning. Another sunrise in Tucson. I do. I think one day I want to witness it from the other side of the mountain, just to see what it's like to get the first rays of sun in the morning. Listen, I'm telling you. Okay. When it turns out to be true, don't say nothing to me. You don't have to believe me. You believe me, you just can't believe I said it. That's funny. You don't know me then. You got to get to know me. Of course, I'm going to say it. Because it's the truth and people need to start thinking. Thank you for hitting the like button. Don't leave. I'm not going to expose you. Good morning, Sister Ine. I didn't call you a chicken shit. Spirit did. Spirit says get on with the getting on, goopy damn. Anyway, how your spirit, Sister NH? What have you been up to? Yeah, I figure see, this is the thing. There's someone who is nudging at me telepathically, like you really shouldn't have said that about the industry, because them people is crazy. But you see, here's the thing. That's how I started out in this. I am the reason why the copyright policy has been changed over time and time again. My little behind down here with 300 and something subscribers going off about the fact that I should be able to use music to communicate with my community, and there shouldn't be a penalty for that. And I called it a ministry. And so, yeah, I've been speaking truth ever since. Why wouldn't I tell the truth about this? I want people to be aware and see what people will do for money and what will they do when they're caught in the middle. There is a noose, no offense. I mean, like in tarot reading or some shit, there is a noose around Jay-Z's neck. Because who is interested in what he's got next? Right? First of all, he's trying to present himself as this wonderful, wholesome dad and family and father. However, we're also saying that most of our children do not want to be parents at this time. So they're not even paying attention to his conversation. Plus, he's going on places where those of his generation aren't even looking today. Most of us don't watch television. We're watching YouTube. He was too good for that. But anyway, hold on. Sister Inez Child, listen, I'm going to try to read your chat. But when I say that my phone is so messed up, dude, like at the top left of the screen, there's like a chunk of pixels missing like this. Over on the right side, there's a chunk of pixels, and down at the bottom. So, like, just bear with me. She says, I've been trying to get centered lately, whatever that means, just trying to tackle some personal goals. Well, I hear you, Sister Enage. So, like, getting centered for me just usually means getting people out of my face and space so that I can take a look inwards at what I got going on. You know, why do I have this block, or why am I not able to do this thing? It's kind of how I realized that there was something going on up in here. With my memory specifically, because it didn't make sense, some of the things that I wasn't able to hang on to at the time. But again, I bring it back to the industry. I came into this space with a bang. It was different. I had taken all the tools and put them together to make something, and people thought that I was sponsored by someone, some network, some outlet, some affiliate of some sort, right? And so over time, They realized that I wasn't going to align with any side because I just don't do that. I'm not going to scam the people. Like, we're talking about a time when they were trying to sell YouTube courses and cryptocurrency and other shit all in one fell swoop. And I'm like, bro, y'all don't even know anything about any of these things. Stop it. Do not scam these people. We were at a time where people actually had money in their hands that they could do something with that would be a long-term investment. And no, instead, they flipped them and scammed them and bamboozled them and whatever else. And it was too much for me. It was a fight that I couldn't fight anyway, but I knew I could fight the copyright fight. I knew I could fight the intellectual property fight. I knew that there were changes that needed to be made to the system of language that could be groundbreaking, and it could be done from this side, from a little guy. It didn't take a whole lot of bells and whistles. It just took persistence, consistency, attention to detail. I couldn't write that letter or that statement the first time. I went over it a few times. And then I just kept doing it and kept doing it. And I told other people in the beginning, I was like, this is it. If we all do it, it'll happen. But people are afraid. Um, they're like, what's it called? There's a saying where it's basically saying that if you pinch pennies, you'll miss the dollars. So an unwillingness to take a chance on using music in their streams in the beginning costs them money in the long run. Right? Because we could have battled back from this thing and streams would have been more entertaining without having to use elevator music or try to figure out some gimmick in order to be able to cover up certain situations and things, so to speak. Instead, though, people didn't want to do the legwork. You know, and fair enough that some people didn't know how to get started, but once you get a copyright strike, pimping, you in it. You got to go to copyright school anyway. So might as well learn the tools of the trade. Yes, people are too afraid, and that's the thing. Like, you can no longer live in fear. You can't be. I mean, seriously, what's there? Most people are afraid of their own shadow. And I'm gonna say it for the record. Most live streamers are lazy. They don't do the extra work that it takes to pull their algorithm together. So they depend on the numbers in the moment and whatever they get in the moment. And that can go sideways. Hmm. Okay, shout out to Lieutenant Bennett. I do not know why, but okay. So here's the thing. Like, most people are stuck on themselves. So the idea, like, I would think about all of the bluster and bullshit that people get into, talking to you crazy and whatnot, all mouth, no fight. You know what I'm saying? That's the majority of the population. Now, yeah, we got some crazy folks out here who do some shit like that. The mass shooters and some domestic terrorists who really do some harm. And we should stay on the lookout and be aware of our surroundings for them. But realistically, even they'll keep their distance because it's about mass resistance. So when one or two of them pop off, it actually looks bad on them. They're supposed to be a united front or force. They're supposed to be well timed and by this time well organized. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that, you know, that I have more to fear from honestly those who look like me, who aren't prepared for any type of change. But we're at that point in history where you've got to figure out who you want to be and where you're going after this. I don't have many playlists, just a couple. Dear elitist, dear content creator, they're valuable because they speak the truth of the people and what we witnessed at that moment in time. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of people lied. I gave them the platform to tell the truth. I gave them the opportunity to do whatever they wanted to. Just don't try to do me. That's where they messed up. I stayed true to me and my integrity. That's the value. That's the measure. Integrity, character, stability in unstable times. The ability to stir up chaos and calm. I don't know. There's nothing like being who you are. It does bring peace and clarity and understanding of the world. You guys, okay, I have a story to tell you. This shit was so funny. A couple of days ago, I'm with some people, and we go to the local post office. And while at the post office, listen, I had this Men in Black experience at the post office. The three of us walk in. The two gentlemen walk up to the counter to the left of us, and these two men walk out. And one of them, I swear to God, he looked like he had just thrown on his costume and come running out. He had on this toupee. His uniform was kind of disheveled. His name was, I'm going to say it, his name was Wolfgang, and he had the worst German accent possible. Y'all got to know, I grew up in Germany. Like, I can distinguish, I can discern the difference in some of these things. As soon as I saw him, I just started cracking up. I was like, I gotta go. I'm having this Men in Black moment. So I left out of the post office and I tried to just breathe through and giggle a bit and go back inside. And I went back in, and as soon as I looked up, Wolfgang is laughing with me. I'm like, no. Nothing but aliens work at the post office. I don't care where it is. I don't care who you are. It's too much. I don't think that people should be allowed to jump in. Well, okay. This is just me speaking off the cuff. Don't hold me to this. But like, maybe people shouldn't be allowed to jump in and out of the matrix. Oh gosh, oh my soul, that tickled me so hard. I just couldn't help myself. I was like, Come on, y'all. Y'all ain't even tried. Wolfgang was just. Oh, gosh. I do have to admit, it's been nice to be around some people whom I won't say that um, I appreciate them. And aside from a couple of those things, they're chill enough. We've been playing backgammon at ACDC, and that's been pretty fun. Um, Being able to have some of the conversations, running into some people, that's all been pretty cool. But like, yeah, I'm just done with it. You know, I'm ready to move on to the next stage in the game, right? Like if this is uh, Jumanji, the Earth Edition, or some shit, I'm on to the next. I'm on to the next one. I beat all the bosses and battled all the rounds, at least in this part of region of the game. This region of the galaxy, I suppose. Guaranteed to keep you on your toes. Guaranteed. Mm. The sun is finally coming up, which means the temperature's gonna rise in the desert. It's so trippy to me how people don't recognize how the desert works. Like I get it, and I complain about it, but I understand it. You know, as soon as the sun goes down, the temperature's gonna drop because the sun is the only thing keeping it hot. It's not like out east where there's this consistent heat on the pavement quite as much. You can find some warm spots, but it tends to just drop. Excuse me, and it's cold through the overnight into the morning. Now, in the summertime, late spring, and summer, you're gonna get a different thing. It's gonna be hot as shit all the time, and all the time it's gonna be hot as shit. That's exactly why snowbirds exist. They get here sometime between late September and now, and they usually stick around until Easter or shortly thereafter. And they go back out east or wherever they're from because the temperatures are more moderate there than they are here. But on an annual basis, the temperature is more moderate here, which is why I chose to move here. Um, but like when I say that Tucson is the hellmouth of the South, at least the Southeast or Southwest, I mean that because they are open to so much spiritually in the way that people practice their different beliefs. It's like spirits are drawn here for a chance to get on here, if that makes sense. Like this parade coming up, it's an opportunity for a host of spirits to find new hosts. Because people be out here doing the most without knowing what they're doing or saying. They're just participating in a thing, not understanding that they're practicing a craft of sorts. Participating in someone else's culture without being aware of it is practicing their culture. If their culture happens to include witchcraft or voodoo, and you're just along for the ride, well, guess what you're doing too? Yeah, got you. God's got you too. There's something about canceling Christmas. I don't know what that is, but it keeps coming up. Um, I guess I'll get further clarity later on. But Redemption Song by Bob Marley. Spirit says I've been redeemed. I never dreamed that it would come to all of this. It was a calculated risk, though. I could have gone the way of everybody else, trying to play the YouTube shuffle, get into the YouTube hustle mindset. That's the trickery. Get you to show up every day at a certain time and gather people around you to sell them some type of story. To mind F the people in real time. I couldn't participate in it. I also couldn't outright explain it at the time. It had to be something that we were able to unravel, unwind. There was someone on the inside selling lies and bullshit. Um, they were doing it for clickbait, for clout, for revenue. And now they can't even spend it. That person's irrelevant to me. I don't think I've ever actually. I think maybe I spoke on them once on this channel, maybe a couple of times, but they've never really been relevant to me. But yeah, I know they watched my channel. They've seen me on panels. They were worried about their spot. And I'm not interested. It's crazy the amount of money that was spent to try and shut me up, to hide me, to keep me silent. Literally, like people really was hoping that I would be violent, do something that was gonna get me locked up, or at least under someone else's control, so they could control my creativity, the money that is owed to me, which is a considerable amount, um, and they could preserve their legacy, so to speak. Your bed benches to white supremacy. You deserve the karma you receive. How would I step in for you? And you did nothing for the people. You tried to destroy them from the inside. That's the problem. All skin folk ain't kin folk. All black folk ain't my folk. It's time to recognize that. I'm American, not African. Despite my lineage, my ancestry, this vessel was born here. I hope I've made that crystal clear. I ain't fighting for nobody who ain't fought for me. This body's also indigenous to this land. I'm a number one stunner. I really thought I was going to have a more difficult time with yesterday. Yet, I'm over it. Something about Boba Fett, but Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, and Grogu, however that relates to you, whatever it is you see, okay, that's me. The messages don't always come in complete sentences or storylines. I have to understand it. That's why I don't like this form of communication. It, it, anyway, it's funny. Um, Something about Cash Money Records. Oh, number one stunner. I do miss being able to do the music streams and movies and getting people to see and understand, to recognize the unseen. It's the one thing that Hollywood does. You guys, I posted a video on my community wall about Gaia, about expansion of the mind, and accepting and understanding some things. Um, we we've got to accept that there are secret societies and there's been some trickery. Uh, and no offense to um, the Masons um, or the nation, but you all were left out of some things on purpose and left behind for a reason. Um, there are parts of those organizations that you were purposely left unaware of. Uh, Spirit says it was to get some of you stuck in the mud. Um, it's something about the blood, like the willingness to continuously feed on the flesh of a human being, whether that be literal or figurative, that puts you in a certain category. Um, and there are building blocks, like everything. There's levels to this. But anyway, there's a video over on my community wall about Gaia. It was absolutely interesting. And please note again, there are some things you can do and some things you simply cannot do. The universe is watching you, and it will do whatever it has to correct the imbalance before it gets too far out of line. You see, this is the thing. Think of a gyro, you know, one of those spinning top situation type thingies. Remember, you spin it and it continues. Centrifugal force does this, but eventually, as it slows down, it begins to wobble. Well, that instability is where the universe steps in. You can't let the planet wobble to that degree. So, something about duplicity. Oh, the people who double speak. Yeah, they're not just energy vampires. Some of them are snakes, but yeah, the ones who speak fast, they speak over you. They want to speak at you constantly. They seek to drain you of your energy so that you can't do anything else. And then once they've drained you of their energy, they are replete, full, satisfied. They can sleep. And you sleep, but you are exhausted. Your mind can't build dreams. You know what I mean? They hope to sleep the same time as you, by the way, just in case, so they can catch that energy too. It's not sleep they need, it's your energy up which they feed. Um, what's the name? Baphomet? 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 Baphomet is the industry's deity. uh, uh, Christians, it's what? It's a fish god. I find that ironic when you think of this space wanting to play Game of Thrones, right? And Theon was from that island where oh, dead men tell no tales. You know what I'm saying? Theon Greyjoy, who would eventually go on to be Reek, you know, the one who was literally stripped of his dignity. He had his winky dude flayed and excised from his person, and he was forced to live on and serve the man who did it to him until he was able to escape, go back to the family who actually raised him and showed him love, that he betrayed them. In the end, in order to redeem himself, he had to befriend um, the eldest daughter who saw him as nothing in the first place. And she kind of took pity on him, sympathy, but in the end, you know, he had to help save her. And this was more than an emasculation. Hey, take that thing out. Take that thing out. Now listen. It's been a long time since Game of Thrones was out, a decade or so I'm gonna go ahead and close this part of the story out. She eventually gets revenge on the man who did that to him. He had also been her husband, so she took certain pleasure in repaying him for the abuses he had done to her. His divine timing, so to speak. He hadn't fed his hounds for a week because he was hoping to destroy someone else to put them in that cage and let his animals feed off of them. But he lost the battle of the bastards in the end, and into the cage he went. He was eaten alive by his own demons. It's a much more powerful show than people believe. I love Game of Thrones. Shout out to George. Come on, Mr. Martin, get on with it. I might actually read the final book, at this point. I don't know. I guess, never mind. We'll save that for another time. But the bottom line is there's no longer the hype, the interest, the desire for corporate deities, celebrities, corporate gods, so to speak. No one's interested in being told what to think or sold, for that matter. The script is getting old, the playbook is tattered. The people recognize their own value, talent, creativity, and no one wants to give that up for pennies on the dollar or temporary celebrity because there's no retirement plan. And people are tired of planning to overcome the same shit that their parents and grandparents did. Yeah, talking about a revolution. uh, mm, sorry, y'all. Need to stretch a little bit. It is time for the abuses against man to end. It's time for a conclusion, a resolution, something that the people can sink their teeth into, have faith in, believe in. Transparency for posterity, for clarity. I won't be going backwards. What I will say to you is keep doing the right thing. There's no reason for me to say that I'm proud of you yet. I have faith that you'll stay on track, yet you have to prove that, just like everybody else does. I think you dipped your toe into the witchcraft pool and you got out before um, any real damage was done to your family. Stop swearing on that baby. You speak things into existence. And should you fail this test this time, Do you understand? It's time for you to be a real man and stand up. Tell the entire truth. Everything. Everything. I told you they never stop watching. You didn't listen and you didn't pay attention. And the feds got you. Do the right thing. This is not about snitching. This is not about any of those things. You have a family that you'll be able to go home to if you do the right thing. You aren't one of them, so it doesn't make you a rat or a snitch. You were a dude who liked music who got caught up in some shit. I promised you that we would have one conversation, so this is gonna be it. I'll look in from time to time. Stay on your grind. There will never be that opportunity. However, that's it. The rest of it remains to be seen. You should have always been team this, Janine. Stupid. Prove to me in the world you can do the right thing. You believe in miracles? I bet you do. That wasn't me, that was God. You must have done something to get God to go ahead and give you a chance. But man, we're talking about a really big chance. Don't blow it. Yeah, Spirit says down the line there's still an opportunity for you to make the moves that you want to. You have to do what's required of you here. And then you can move on from this. Yes, sure, you can do that. It hasn't changed. But like, I don't know what to tell you. You'll have to catch me in the stream. I promise. I will do a token stroll or something, so we can, so that you can tune in. But again, conversation between you and I, telepathic or otherwise, will be limited. Spirits is non-existent. That's part of the debt. Do not regret. Learn from it. Repent. Pray all day, every day. I promise. If God has given you this opportunity to communicate with me, God is telling you that He'll walk with you. You gotta talk to Him a lot. You gotta confess your sins, not just to Him, but to the humans. You gotta tell the truth about what you did, your part in it. I always knew. I forgave you a long time ago. I'm gonna expose you right here. You ain't coochie caping from the day I met you. Why would you do anything different? Keep your spirit up there. Spirit says you got a long road to go. You got a long way to go, but you can make it. You'll make it. Don't fake it. Do not play with God. I know you didn't. I know you did. You know it's time for you to go, right? Like we do not bring up that name over here. Loud and clear ain't got nothing to do with you. It was a disrespect shown me, as if I couldn't if I couldn't see what was happening, the manipulation, the trickery, the narcissism of one female. Oh, it's still out there. I haven't deleted anything. So if people got into my account and deleted some shit, that's different. But all of the things that I have ever created are on my channel, either on my YouTube, my Instagram, or my Facebook, and there were backups. So you should take a look because the truth is already out there. And the feds were already watching. So when you decided to hack me, steal my identity, you know, by the way, little bitty bitch, that was a HIPAA violation. A crime for which you will do spend time. Oh, it doesn't matter if you snitch. It's too late. You and your caster want to be babies. Honey, y'all aren't worth me trolling or patrolling or saying anything more about. Look at these dogs with coats. Good morning. Good morning. You all look adorable with your vests on this morning. They look absolutely cute. They've got on sweater vests and and little hoods. This lady's so adorable. Like if we were in the Star Wars movie, she kind of reminds me of a little Ewok. She just be walking and talking, and she's got this little high pitched kind of voice. She's kind of short. She's really cute. Like seriously, I think she heard me. She turned back just now. She was like, "Thank you." I'm like, "Oh, cute." Oh man, yeah, I live my life in high definition. It's fun to be me. I see the world differently. I see people for who they are, not who they pretend to be. The physical makeup is more like imagery, which is why I can relate them to cartoon characters so easily. It it makes them stick for me though. Otherwise, I would forget a lot of people. Because a lot of times, um, when you're meant to deliver a message, it's by design that you're not meant to hang on to a name or a person or a place or a thing. Because a lot of times the message is universal. It can stand the test of time. You'll be prepared for that. That's another thing. We need to keep in mind that time is something we've created to understand the world around us. So the world around us doesn't exactly exist on our time or our timeline for that matter. It's an outside thing that we're trying to get a hold of. That's why, you know, man plans, God laughs. Because it's like, you want me to do what? In how much time? Yeah, in what? This time thing. Do y'all know how long it really takes to get something, you know? He'll speak to us in our language as long as we listen and participate. Hmm. It's weird. It's like Spirit saying someone's at the pearly gates, but it's too late. They can't get in. Spirit says it's an old friend. They want me to come down and let them in, and no, that's not how it goes at all. Um, Spirit says the writing's on the wall for all of y'all, big and small. Whatever part you played, that's the price you'll pay. Something about your ad revenue, your AdSense. Something about an accent. Something about Michael Jackson. Something about me being a Paxton. Something was left to me in perpetuity. Yeah, I know. Well, the rest of my life and my children. Well, yeah, we there's some discrepancies there, but they've been cleared up apparently. Spirit says there's a reason why we're doing this in a live stream. Someone else saw this in a dream. Someone wants to find me to advise me of something. Spirit says something about them recognizing me on the street. Spirit says I've already been seen. Spirit says the light is green. Keep driving. Spirit says something or someone is arriving, something about a package. Something about a neon jacket. Something about a mattress. Someone named Patrick. Mr. Patrick? Oh, he was so cute to me. Something about Mr. Patrick being surprised to see me. He thought he thought you would have already come to get me. Confirmation. Something about moving to a higher elevation, a radio station, a frequency designation, someone frequents the reservation, something about the Navajo Nation, something about a congregation, a situation, an investigation, something about it being the first in the nation, a trial run with me became trial and error for effery. You kidding? Something about mind trickery being a felony. Spirit says something about welcome to destiny. Spirit says destiny is in front of you and me. Something about a happy family. I hear that 1, 2, 3, the beginning from like an Outcast song. Caroline? No, is that what it is? Something about roses. Something about noses and water hoses, faucets. It's too much, Spirit. I do have to go to the restroom. Spirit says you've done enough already. Spirit says you may have done too much. Something about past the Dutch. Something about you passing a bus. Something about another one biting the dust. Something about having to adjust accordingly. Something about you've been avoiding me. Someone can't wait to tell my story. Someone can't wait to sell my story. Someone wants to tell me a story and help me sleep. That's pretty sweet. Thank got on boots. They just get cuter by the moment. Salute. Something about a telephone booth in Duluth. Oops. Mhm. Yay. The sun's up above the building, so now I can feel the warmth on the rest of me. My bad, Sister Enage. That was Spirit had a lot to say. Apologies, y'all. Every now and then, you just have to answer the call, so to speak. Because sometimes it's just, it is what it is. You got to get it out. It's like this nudging you. You got something to do. You got work to do. Say what I need you to say, and then you can go on about your day until I need you again, or whatever it is. I do. I need some sage, and so anyway, all those things. Hmm. I always pray that people do the right thing. It just doesn't always turn out that way. Anyway, I've got to go, Twinkle. Keep your spirit up. I'll see you in the streets. God loves you. I do too.